November 10, 1987. A woman has been missing for over 30 years. Her case remains unsolved, with few details. Sylvia McElroy, 27, would be with a friend and an unidentified male. Sylvia was on 63rd and King Drive. She would get into the man's vehicle, a brown 1970s Buick. Sylvia has not been seen since, and there are few details in her disappearance. Sylvia is a black female, 5 feet 6 inches to 5 feet 8 inches, weighing 125 to 135 pounds with black hair and brown eyes. At the time of her disappearance, she had burgundy hair. She also has a scar on her right shoulder. Someone may have tips that get us closer to the mystery man that she was last seen with. July 5, 1996. A family has been missing, and police suspect a close relative is responsible. Everett Thompson, wife Lydia and 2 sons, lived in the 8100 block of South Rhodes Avenue. Everett owned the EAT & Company restaurant. Lydia had a brother that had recently been released from prison and needed a place to stay. Lydia's father left his kids the home, and they each had a share in the property. Things were becoming strange at the home, with Kenneth's presence, and things would take a worse turn. Lydia would frantically call her husband, who was at work, and let him know that her brother had chased her with an axe, and she locked herself in the bedroom. She also contacted police. Everett would come home, and it seemed that things were okay, as the police left without arresting anyone. 2 hours later, Kenneth would head to the restaurant, driving Everett's truck. He told the employees that Everett had been arrested after a car accident. But employees remember seeing red stains on Kenneth's white sneakers. It would be a few days, and no one had heard from the family. Everett's father would file a missing persons report. Kenneth would be investigated, where he would tell authorities that the family took a vacation but always switched up where they had went. It would also be found that, while the family was gone, he would forge his sister's signature on documents, in order to sell the home. He would also sign her name for a $13,000 check. Kenneth would move to Gary, Indiana. Police would speak to Kenneth in Gary, and serve a search warrant for his home. At the residence, they would find blood-stained clothing and shoes. Kenneth was arrested for failing to register as a sex offender. But authorities were not finished investigating him for this case. He would later be charged with bank fraud for forging his sister's signature. While Kenneth was in prison, on Christmas Day, he would take his own life. Detectives in this case believe that Kenneth murdered the family with an axe. Authorities would search both residences with cadaver dogs and not find remains. At this time, Everett, Lydia and their 2 sons are missing. February 2, 2018. Here we have another case, with few details into the disappearance. Hopefully, someone out there can give investigators tips to get us closer to finding our missing person. O'Shea Royal, 18, would be at his residence, but would leave around 10 p.m. He was last seen in the area near 44th Street and State Street. O'Shea suffers from a medical condition that may have led him to lead astray. At this time, family is worried about him and ask the public if they have seen him. If you have any information for any of these cases in this episode, please contact Chicago Police Department. Thank you for watching another episode of A Minute for Justice. Subscribe to the channel for more true crime news.